Welcome everyone, this is Richard Kuhns, author of How to Get Your Life Back from Morgellons, chronic Lyme, and other skin parasites, nasty parasites. With me today is Robin, my co-host, who has been with us for over a year or so now. And also on the line is Megan, our newest coach, who has extensive experience in dealing with eye issues. And in fact, that during part of the process of dealing with Morgellons, she had lost her eyesight for quite some time. So later on, after the recording is over, coaches will give out their phone numbers, and the coaching that we offer is free with our coaches. Today's topic comes from an email I'd gotten, and I sent out an update a couple of days ago. A question being, is Morgellons self-duplicating? The image that comes to mind are those duplicating bots that you see in science fiction movies. And hey, what's the answer, Robin?
Absolutely. I think reproducing would be a more accurate phrase to use, but yeah, they reproduce like bunnies. Interchangeably,
reproduce, replicate, we don't care what you... Once you sign up to receive our information, and the very first email basically says it all. You are, no matter whether you're dealing with Morgellons, skin fungus, or springtails, also aka columbella, snow fleas also, and well, you are a walking, talking, parasite breeding machine. And also mites. I mean, various forms of mites are going to be breeding on your skin and duplicating and replicating. And that's what drives us nuts, is because they multiply so fast, they take over our bodies. I mean, you can be in contact with these organisms today, feel nothing, and tomorrow be totally overrun by them. And within days, your entire house overrun by them. And that's the nature of the beast. And that's why we're here. Each of us have gone through this hell, have lived it, and come out the other end. We've discovered, once you have realized that you are affected by these organisms, you may not know exactly what they are, but you go on the internet and words pop up like Morgellons. That's the big buzzword. Other words that pop up might be mites, and there are books about mites. So they're the typical buzzwords that you're going to find on the internet, and you still may not know what you're dealing with. If you complete the questionnaire that goes out with all these mailings, I'll be glad to educate you through the various resources that you can look up and ascertain that you're dealing with Morgellons or columbella, springtails, or skin fungus, or even strongyloides. So then the whole world opens up. You know, at least you have some idea that what is going on. For many, many months, I had no idea what was going on. All I knew was I was itching and going crazy, and my significant other was we were going to doctors and trying this and trying that and getting nowhere. It certainly is nice to know where the starting point is. until you know where the starting point is, you can't see an end. And through my own initial experience, going all the way back to the 90s, at the end of my desperation, after having tried medications, getting biopsies, all kinds of tests, finding nothing, an acquaintance suggested diet. My first thought was, you're a wacko. I mean, that's a wacko idea. How stupid. But you know, there's the scientific self of me, and having been running a stress management facility, I know that there are certain sensitivities that we each have that cause different reactions in our bodies, like food allergies. Well, what the heck would food allergies have to do with these things? Well, I didn't know, but I knew how to construct an elimination diet. So I started only eating eggs. 99.9% of the people that I've worked with that have come to us have no problem with eggs. But there is, you know, that one person from time. Fortunately, I had no problem. And from eggs, I realized that the intensity of the symptoms of the itching had became minimal. No biting. And I thought, boom, a little, you know, that was the time they on TV you'd see that little light bulb, you know, they used them, and hey, something's happening here, maybe. So that was the beginning of discovering, through my own testing daily and record keeping, what seemed to turn the organisms into a frenzy of activity, or what seemed to quiet them to zero. Now, I have no idea what it is about these specific foods, but during the course of a year or two, probably two, I discovered what we call the King Diet. So now we've identified that we're dealing with these organisms. Now, this is not the only way in the world to deal with them. I mean, if you've got the moolah and you've got the resources, there are LLMDs associated with the Morgellons Foundation, and they use a series of antibiotics. And, hey, if you read my book, I went through that too. And it does help. And if you can find these LLMDs and you can get an appointment, hey, that's great. So, they're hard to find, and they're difficult to get appointments with. So in the meantime, until you get an appointment, you may as well do this. And you may end up finding out that once you do the protocol that we've outlined, you may not need medical treatment. You may be able to whip this on your own, as I did. So, and Robin did, and Megan did, and Ethel did, and many, many, many more people. We have a testimonial video coming out pretty soon, a series of people who have shared during this program about their successes, and that'll be available. It'll be very inspirational, and perhaps in this program someone will share their success as well, which is inspiring to others who think there's no end to this, there's no help. Now, before I do go on and we get into recommendations and get technical, the AMA and FDA require me to inform everybody that none of us, me, Robin, Ethel, none of us are medical doctors. So we do not have that training. Thereby, only medical doctors can diagnose, cure, treat, or mitigate disease. So we don't do that. We're not into that. All right? So before you accept the recommendations of the King Diet, going on the King Diet, the FDA requires me to tell you that it's suggested that you discuss it with your doctor first, as well as any of the recommendations that I may make or that are made in the book to make sure they do not interfere with any health problems that you may have, that you may be dealing with. Now, what we can do, and what I have been doing, is to educate. So I can educate you. For instance, if you have a question about, well, is it Morgellons? Hey, I can resolve that right now, all right? If you read Dr. Saverly's book, Morgellons, The Legitimization of a Disease, you'll find that Morgellons is defined by finding filaments or fibers growing from your skin that are characteristically different. They could be yellow, green, red, blue, black, white, different sizes. So that is what characterizes Morgellons, weird filaments and fibers. Now, some of them are very tiny. So also, generally, if you find lint-like substance in your bedding and clothing, now there are people who disagree with this, but this is the way I go by it, because not too many of us walk around with a 60-power scope that we can look at our skin and look at my hair. You know, how am I going to find a little filament here? If you find filaments collecting in lint-like or cotton-like in your bedding and clothing, that's a pretty good indication that you're dealing with little tiny filaments that are being shed from your skin and collecting and rolling up as cotton-like or lint-like balls. So I would say that that's a pretty good indication that you're also dealing with Morgellons. So that's education, all right? Now, we can educate you how to clean them out of your body. And somehow, this is what the King diet does. We don't know how it does it. Don't know exactly why. It seems that dopamine is a main player when we look at the chemicals. So perhaps these foods that are in the King diet are instrumental in reducing dopamine uptake in the brain. We don't know. Just know that it works. It's what us scientists call empirical. Empirical, okay? So the King diet is number one. That cleans them out of your body. But we also want to get them out of your skin. You've got, I don't know, some people have discovered they are dealing with it within a few months. Others find after 10, 15 years that, oh yeah, it's Morgellons and it's almost destroyed them. And so they've got a lot of debris, layers and layers of debris. So cleaning them out of your skin usually involves a lot to do with water and cleaning solutions to get them out of your skin. Back in the 90s, I didn't have the benefit of our product, Nature's Gift. I didn't have that benefit. I had to do it using near scalding water. Epsom salts, borax added to the water, and did that 3 times a day so that I get from one bath to the next, until later I discovered the diet, which made it easier, and I didn't have to take as many scalding baths. So the diet really helps things along quickly, and until you do discover the benefit or make the diet work, there may be 3 baths a day. If you use our products, which I introduced back around 2013, Nature's Gift, which deep cleans the skin, it's a surfactant. It analyzes as liquid carbon. It's made from a proprietary method utilizing renewable plant sources, so that when it's finished, the chemical composition is liquid carbon. We call it bioform carbon to differentiate from carbon that most of us know about, the rest of the world knows about. Diamonds, coal, graphene, graphite. That's crystalline carbon. To create liquid carbon from crystalline carbon is an enormous process. High temperatures, high pressures, impractical. But this technique brings us liquid bioform carbon, angstrom size of 6 angstroms, which is 0.6 nanometers. If you go to the periodic table and you look up carbon, you'll see that it is an atom 6 angstroms in size. So this is so minute, and being a surfactant, it breaks up the chemical bonding of water. Now, what do I mean about chemical bonding of water? Well, fill a glass with water. Get a little hat pin, or a little, one of these little pins, you know, that they stick clothes together with when you buy them, and you stick yourself when you take them out of your brand new shirt, and you can float that pin on that water. That's surface adhesion. That's chemical bonding of water. It's not H2O. It's like H20O10. You put one drop of this in there, and that will sink to the bottom. And H2O is H2O, which is 3 angstroms. Now, 3 angstroms and 6 angstroms go to the not only into the pores of your skin, but deep inside the cells, inside the pores of your skin. And it irritates anything that it finds there. Doesn't kill, it irritates bacteria, it irritates viruses, it irritates fungus, makes it want to leave, and it does. And that's what the bath is about. 45 minutes in the bath, just one little capful of this stuff, along with your disinfectants as described in Chapter 3, and it starts cleaning this stuff out of your skin. And people tell me that after their first bath of this stuff, they get out of the bathtub, and the whole bathtub is full of debris. And there's tons of it in your body. And it takes a period of time, weeks, maybe months, to extract it all and get it all out of your body. So the diet, cleaning your skin. Now the environment. Hey, they're all over the place. Robin has a 3-story beautiful home, and she was ready to burn it down, weren't you, Robin? They were all over her house, and it took a tremendous effort utilizing the disinfectants and different techniques for her. She has more resilient organisms. Now, mites are a vector. And when I analyze questionnaires that people send me, there are specific questions that I look for that are there. And, you know, essentially, Robin, do you know basically 100% of everybody who returns that questionnaire is dealing with also some kind of mite? 100%. So they need to be cleaned out. Chapter 3 of the book is over 50 pages of instructions. How to clean them out of your bathroom, how to clean them out of your clothing, out of your bedding, out of your car, out of your living room, out of your kitchen, out of your sink, everywhere. There are over 40,000 species of mites, according to Britannica. Now, not all of them are a problem for us. I mean, we only need about a dozen to create hell for us. But some of them don't fly, like bird mites. You know, you think bird mites would fly? No, bird mites don't fly. They crawl, and they seek food. But there are other mites that do fly, no-see-ums. And people tell me sometimes, well, I got these things floating all over the room, or, you know, the stuff all over the room. Well, that's some kind of mite that is airborne. And obviously, that airborne mite is going to go throughout everything. Everywhere it's going to go. And your whole house has to be disinfected. Now, there are some people that need to make a decision, because when they look at the situation, instead of them bringing the organisms into their house and their house getting infected, their house brought the organisms to them. In other words, they have a sick house, and they need to look for where these organisms are emanating. Backed up sewers, #1 cause, backed up sewers. Leaky pipes in the basement, in the crawl space. Organisms love that. So once you find where the organisms are coming from, you may be able to fix your house. If you can't, then it may be advisable to move and to relocate. So we have clean them out of your body with a diet, clean them out of your skin through bathing, clean them out of your environment. And the fourth thing, if affordable, is to use the targeted supplements that we have discovered and are available in the store. All of them are compatible with the King diet. Like, for instance, don't go take any multiple vitamin, because if you read the ingredients, and I've read every multiple vitamin in the market, and you know, the vitamins look good. You look down other ingredients, they got gel capsules, or they have some kind of glycerin in them. I don't know why. Or they put in straw extracts from fruit. Okay, nice, but our organisms love these to eat. Okay, so the multiple vitamin that we have is only vitamins. And if you look at the bottom, when it says additional ingredients, it says there are none. There are none. So, and then boosting glutathione, something that most people don't even think about. I think if you look at other protocols out there, I mean, there are several. There's Mel's protocol, and there's, I don't know, maybe somebody can tell me some others, but nobody talks about boosting glutathione. We do. It's powerful. It's the most important thing to do in getting your life back, not only for the skin parasites, but also Lyme disease. Turns out that basically 90% of those of us who are dealing with Morgellons also have Lyme disease. Some people claim 100%. But the research I had read or saw posted on the Morgellons Foundation, 90%. Well, that's a big number. Hey, so that's kind of scary. You know, if I were a first-time caller on this and listening to me right now, I'd probably flip out through the roof here. Wow, I got Lyme disease too. That's a killer. Hey, I know. It almost killed me. It almost destroyed me. But don't worry. Our protocols handle that. We don't cure, we don't treat Lyme disease, but oftentimes with this targeted nutritional approach that we have, you may need no treatment. Because glutathione is one of those important substances that the body creates on its own, but as you age and because of radiation and illness and stress and all kinds of stressful factors, our body creates less and less. So by the time you get to my age, you're about negative glutathione in your cells. And so we need to boost it. And there's only one way that I know of boosting it, and that is not with glutathione supplements. We have a product called a glutathione accelerator, Max 1. It has 2 ingredients, D-ribose, which is natural, high-quality sugar, and L-cysteine, which is the limiting molecule in the glutathione tripeptide. This gets into your cellular structure where you boost glutathione by as much as 270%, not like 18 or 20 with a glutathione supplement that you might buy at a store that also has ingredients that are going to feed the organisms. Glutathione detoxifies. Now, why is that important? Because Lyme disease lives in a cesspool. The more mercury, the more pesticides, the more cadmium, the more nickel, the more junk you have in your cellular structure, the happier Lyme disease is. Glutathione flushes it out, takes away the food that Lyme disease needs. No one else seems to know this or do this. If they do know it, they don't seem to do it because it works. It's phenomenal. So, no need to freak out with the prospect that you're also dealing with Lyme disease. No need to run out and get expensive tests. They're a waste of time, a waste of money. Because, hey, if you're nutritionally connected with basically 4 basic things, vitamins, minerals, boosting glutathione, and we have a natural antibiotic, you're going to be taken care of. You're going to be nutritionally balanced and healthy. So, well, anyway, yes, Morgellons is a you are a walking, talking breeding machine when you are dealing with Morgellons, Columbella, and skin fungus. And this program is exactly what deals with that. The diet cleans them out of your body, cleaning your skin in the bathing, and cleaning them out of your environment, and using the targeted supplements, and you'll be amazed. Within several months, you'll be one of our coaches. Now, another topic that we were going to talk about is the lack of support some people have.
Oh, hey, Richard. Can I say something before you move on?
Yes, Megan?
I know that a lot of people, have a hard time affording supplements. So if you can only get one supplement, get the max one. You want that glutathione. I mean, for me, it gave me all my energy back. I wasn't even getting better until I started taking glutathione. So definitely get that one.
Thank you, Megan, because it really is good. I'm glad you said that, because oftentimes one of the questions on the questionnaire is brain fog. Do you have brain fog? And just about everybody's got brain fog. And it's amazing that once you boost the glutathione, the brain fog seems to kind of lift and move away. So, yes, thank you, Megan. Okay, the other issue, and we're going to discuss it more next week. Did you have anything to add to that, Robin? We can't hear you. No audio.
Sorry, I had muted myself.
Okay. I wondered why I didn't hear you earlier.
Sorry about that. I totally agree. If you can only get one vitamin, get the glutathione accelerator max 1. It's amazing. Amazing, amazing.
It is expensive. Now, it's not because of us. Unfortunately, max 1 is one of these multi-level things. And we pay $60 a bottle. So the best you'll get from us is $65 or $75. So there, but it is tremendously valuable. We do have nanoglutathione in the store. You take it under the tongue, but again, it's not much less expensive. It's up there too, and you have to spit it out. Because it has ingredients in it that if you swallowed it, it would feed the parasites. But you could absorb it under the tongue. There's also advantages in that form, because some people have found that applying it to a skin lesion, for instance. I mean, skin lesions are a big issue almost with everybody, and there are probably at least 7 or 8 techniques that we use that basically wipe them out. And that's one of them. Just apply a drop of nanoglutathione to any skin lesion and do that on a daily basis, 1 or twice a day, and it basically will dissipate and go away. So the other topic is having support. And next week, I was speaking with Margie earlier, and she is going to go into depth into that aspect of having support, because there are many of us who live with others who think we're nuts. You know, it's wonderful if your spouse or your significant other is on board with you, reads the book with you, works with you in terms of the diet, in terms of purchasing foods, and helping cook the foods. That is great, and helping clean and the environment, and making sure that you remember to do your 3 baths a day in the beginning to get things under control. That is great, but there are many people who live with toxic people in terms of that, and that is a big stress. I mean, these organisms are stressful enough, and living with somebody who thinks you're nuts and crazy and a wacko and refuses to participate, that puts it over the top. That's something that we're going to be addressing next week with Margie. So any of you who are tuned in today and that is an issue, I definitely want you to come back next week, give your last 4 digits so you can share with Margie and interact with Margie on this issue. It is important. We have attempted to have a segment devoted to this, and every time we've done it, nobody showed up. But then when we're not looking for anybody, they all show up and talk about the difficulties they're having. So it would be nice if we could get a segment that is just for people with lacking support, because that is a tremendously stressful issue. Do you have anything to share on that, Robin?
No, I just know that it's incredibly stressful, and I've been dealing with people who have really been struggling with family members that don't understand and think they're crazy and get really hostile. I mean, we know people who have been committed to mental institutes by family members because they think they're crazy. It's just such a challenging, difficult situation, and that's why this call and the coaches and the buddies are so important, because we understand. We believe you. Where else are you going to get this kind of support?
Right. I know I've had spouses of people suffering write me and cuss me out and call me a rip-off artist and everything under the sun, and they were going to report me to the president, the big federal authorities. I mean, they go wacko. So it is a real issue. Megan, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I'm definitely one of those people. My family had me committed twice, and twice I went on my own from doctor visits. So, yeah, without this call, I definitely wouldn't have gotten better. So,
wow.
We need
So yes, it is, like I say, fighting these organisms is one thing. Fighting an idiot in the family is another. You know, it's sad, and sometimes I hate to say it, but sometimes the only way out is to leave. Sometimes that's the only way out, is to make your own way, get your own apartment, and make your own life, control it. I know our very first coach, Sandra, who has long left the fold and gotten her life back, and she was committed 3 times by her husband and the family doctor, who is looking out for your welfare, right? Okay. So that Margie will be here next week. Maybe it'll be the kickoff of a group that will work and meet by itself, because it is an issue, and it can be addressed separately. It's a support issue. It's very much like Al-Anon or something like that, you know. So okay.